And now, ladies and gentlemen, from the heart of the Inland Empire, right here in sunny Southern California, it's Robert Cardoza Live, where we talk about politics, money, and you. This is the intersection of business and politics. And now here's your host, Robert Cardoza.
And welcome aboard. I am Robert Cardoza. You're listening to the intersection of business and politics right here on Robert Cardoza Live, where I do an honest, unbiased analysis of the issues confronting you today that affect the decisions that you're going to make for both your personal and your business life. I come to you every Monday through Friday from 4 p.m. to 6 p.m. Pacific Time on Spreaker Radio, Blog Talk Radio, MyCast Live Radio, and countless terrestrial stations worldwide. I also broadcast on Roar, 1776 Radio, and 365 Live Radio every Friday from 4 p.m. to 6 p.m. Pacific Time. Please follow me on Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, Google+, and YouTube, where you can listen to my show, all my shows for that matter, 24/7. Go to my website at www.robertcardozalive.com for archives of all my radio and television shows. You can also access my show live right from my website each day, simply by clicking on that little icon labeled Listen Live. Email me at robertcardozalive@gmail.com, and you can call into my show if you want to comment or just engage me in conversation about anything. That number to the studio, directly to the studio, 909-545-6516. Again, that number is 909-545-6516. Now, on today's show, we're going to discuss what's in the news, new legislation the IRS loses, and I'm going to answer your emails just like I always do. Now, today, my expert contributor is John Hanson, that little old wine drinker. He's going to be talking about food and wine. My special guest, John Kurth, the Wizard of Words, talking success through scripting. And you're going to be glad you heard that one. I'll tell you, he's always got good stuff for us. But right now, I want you to know that at 4:02 p.m. Pacific Time, it is currently 93 degrees here in the heart of the Inland Empire in sunny Southern California. Well, that's down from 97 degrees on its way to 62 degrees. So, we'll see what the rest of the day has to hold. But you know what, right now, let's talk about the news for the day. We've encapsulated it so that we can get a lot of this stuff in and you can know exactly what's going on in the world today. Let's get right to that so that you know exactly what's happening in the news today. You know what? Israeli Druze alarmed by plight of their brethren in Syria. You know what? Members of Israel's Druze minority, long among the Jewish state's most loyal citizens, have become increasingly concerned about the plight of their beleaguered brethren in neighboring Syria. Now, they're asking the state of Israel to help their fellow Druze next door, and some are even offering to go fight in Syria if needed. Israel has been careful to stay out of the 4-year-old Syrian civil war, and the Syrian Druze have themselves mostly avoided involvement. But after al-Qaeda-linked militants earlier this month brutally killed as many as 20 Druze in what amounted to the deadliest violence against members of the small Arab sect since the Syrian conflict started in March of 2011, Israel finds itself under increasing internal pressure to act. That would have the extraordinary outcome of having Israel intervene on behalf of a group perceived as loyal to Syrian President Bashar Assad's government. The plight of Syria's Druze and Israel's dilemma over possible involvement adds another complicated layer to the mayhem or rapidly disintegrating Syria. It also casts a light on Druze, a mysterious sect that began as an offshoot of Shiite Islam and has managed to survive in a turbulent region by showing allegiance to their country of residence, sometimes at the cost of fighting other Druze on the battlefield. You know what? It just never ends. It just keeps right on going. You never know, what the heck is going to be going on around here. But how about this? You know what? We're talking about the latest on the church shooting. Mississippi officials are divided here. South Carolina Governor Nikki Haley spent several hours on the phone with the head of the state's law enforcement agency in the hours after Wednesday's shooting that killed 9 in the Charleston church. Haley's office released her schedule for last week, which included 6 calls to State Law Enforcement Division Chief Mark Keel from 10:25 p.m. Wednesday to 2:45 a.m. Thursday. She then traveled to Charleston to meet with law enforcement and was at the news conference when they announced the arrest of the suspect late that morning. After the first call came from Keel, the Republican governor called the minority leader and the majority leader in the Senate, Democratic State Senator Clementa Pickney was pastor of Emmanuel African Methodist Episcopal Church and one of 9 people killed during Bible study in the church basement around 9 p.m. on Wednesday. Haley also spoke to President Barack Obama on Thursday and with Pickney's widow on Friday, according to her schedule. You know, don't you just sort of wonder what on earth is going on in our world today? I can tell you that I was certainly raised in a much better place, a much finer world, a much safer place at a time when you felt safe pretty much all the time. You know, in my era, if you got mad at somebody, yeah, you want to fight them, you want to beat them up, but you didn't want to kill them. You just wanted them to submit. Well, here's one for you. White House action needed now to slow climate change. Failure to act on climate change could cause an estimated 57,000 deaths a year in the United States from poor air quality by 2100. The Obama administration argued in a report released just today that warns of dire effects on global warming. The report says inaction on climate change could cost billions of dollars a year in damage from rising sea levels, increased wildfires and drought, as well as higher costs for electricity to cool homes and businesses in hotter temperatures. The Environmental Protection Agency report argues that action now on climate could save billions in avoided costs for maintenance and repairs on roads and bridges made vulnerable by global warming and save the lives of an estimated 12,000 people in 49 United States cities who could die from extreme temperature in the year 2100. You know, if you don't believe in global warming, then maybe you don't believe in science. Now, I understand that there's some controversy between the scientists, but the vast majority of scientists, and in this case, including the Pope of the Catholic Church, who is a scientist, agrees that global warming is a real thing and that it's caused by us human beings on this planet. Don't we have an obligation to try and save this planet for future generations? I think so. How about this? Items recovered from a New York cabin in the hunt for the escaped murderers. Items recovered from a remote hunting cabin might be linked to a pair of convicted murderers who escaped from a nearby prison more than 2 weeks ago, authorities said today, as searchers swarmed rugged woods in the hamlet in far northern New York. State Police Major Charles Guess said at a news conference that authorities had specific items from the Adirondack cabin some 20 miles west of the prison and sent them to the labs for DNA and other testing. He would not elaborate on the items, but characterized the latest search effort, one of many over the past 17 days, as a confirmed lead. There are a number of factors that make this a complex search: the weather, the terrain, the environment, and frankly, the vast scope of the North County, or country, I should say, of the Adirondacks, Guest said. He urged residents and seasonal camp owners to call police if they notice anything out of place or capture footage on trail cameras of any suspicious activity. Well, I guess so, right? You would think so, anyway. Well, you know what? Let's talk a little bit more about these church shootings. It's a reminder of homegrown extremists. We'll talk about that a little bit when we come back from this brief commercial message. Don't go away. We'll be right back.
If you want to increase your client base and sales, then consider this, the Relationship Building Network at RBN. Given the current economic conditions and challenges, we all need to work smarter, make smarter decisions, invest our hard-earned dollars where it'll yield the best return for our investment. Many business professionals claim that the most effective networking group in Orange County is RBN. No other networking group or organization can offer what RBN offers. Make every year your best year. Join RBN and start reaping the benefits today. You know, nearly 3,000 businesses have joined RBN and experienced those benefits. Why join RBN? It's one group. It's one membership. It's no renewals. It's all through Orange County. RBN is a freestyle networking group. No mandatory attendance, no restrictions, no rules, and no penalties. Call them at 949-830-5776 or go to their website at rbninfo.com. That's 949-830-5776. If you've ever dreamed of having your own business to make your life secure, you know Water's Edge Wineries might be just the ticket. In 2004, their founder, Ken Lineberger, created the first winery franchise in California. It was a new concept with all of the functionality of a traditional winery, but without the vineyards. They purchase high-quality grape must from one of the largest winemaking companies in the world. Then they craft each wine carefully and bottle it right at their location. The winery was built to satisfy consumer demand for wine by the bottle and by the glass, but still kept the element of allowing customers to bottle their own custom vintage. Now, they're opening urban wineries across the United States under the brand Water's Edge Wineries. If you've ever dreamed of owning your own winery, it may be in reach right now through Water's Edge Wineries. Just give them a call at 909-468-9463, extension 700. That's Water's Edge Wineries, 909-468-9463. Have you ever found yourself caught between a rock and a hard place? The law offices of Blomberg, Benson, and Garrett might be just the answer for you. The attorneys of Blomberg, Benson, and Garrett have been serving the Inland Empire since 1989. They're dedicated to the aggressive litigation of civil, criminal, and real estate matters. Over the years, they have recovered tens of millions of dollars for their clients. The firm's practice specializes in litigation of personal injury, accident, slip and fall, real estate, and criminal law cases. The firm provides clients with the care, accuracy, and dedication of experienced attorneys. Blomberg, Benson, and Garrett is located at 10300 4th Street, Suite 150 in Rancho Cucamonga, California. They've been providing the Inland Empire residents with outstanding legal services for over 25 years. They look forward to providing you with aggressive legal representation. Call them at 909-945-5000, where you can talk to a person, not a machine. That's 909-945-5000, the law offices of Blomberg, Benson, and Garrett. And now let's get back to our show where we talk about politics, money, and you.
And I am Robert Cardoza. You're listening to Robert Cardoza live on the street at the intersection of business and politics. And you know what? When we left, we were talking about the news. I said we were going to talk about those church shootings, and it's a reminder of homegrown extremists. Here's the thing. Confronting extremists, law enforcement in the United States has been focusing on aspiring jihadists who align with the Islamic State, overshadowing long-standing concerns about avowed racists, neo-Nazis, and anti-government militias. The South Carolina shootings, experts say that they are a reminder of the persistent dangers posed by disaffected people who are bent on violence, but whose statements before they act may skate below the radar of police and federal authorities. The killings at a black church in Charleston appear to fit a grim pattern of violence fueled by hate-filled ideology, joining other attacks by extremists in the past 5 years that have targeted Jewish and Sikh centers, federal government buildings, and police officers. While the number of Americans professing extremist ideologies fluctuates, the election of President Barack Obama, coupled with a national economic downturn, has in recent years intensified anger among white supremacists and anti-government groups to levels not seen since the time of the 1995 Oklahoma City bombing, said Mark Pitcavage, Director of Investigative Research at the Anti-Defamation League. You know what? Is there any good news? I guess not. How about this? 30 people are killed in the northeast Nigeria by 2 girl suicide bombers. Yep, you heard me right. 2 girls blew themselves up today near a crowded mosque in northeast Nigeria's biggest city, killing 30 people, witnesses said. It is the 4th suicide bombing this month in Maiduguri, which is the birthplace of the Boko Haram Islamic extremist group. Fishmonger Edie Adrisa said one teenager exploded as she approached the mosque crowded with people from the nearby Baga Road fish market performing afternoon prayers during the holy month of Ramadan. The second teen appeared to run away and blew up further away, killing only herself, he said. Civilian defense fighter Salma al-Abu said he counted at least 30 corpses as he helped collect the dead. Both men said there were many, many injured. Boko Haram has kidnapped hundreds and hundreds of girls and women, and the numbers of female suicide bombers has raised fears that it is using the captives in its campaign. You know what? How brave does that make them, right? Why don't they just strap a bomb to their butts and let it go? I'd feel a lot better about it. I'd get the message. They don't have to use those poor girls. How about this? The United States is to provide weapons, aircraft, commandos for NATO. The United States committed today to contribute, I'm having tongue-tied here today, weapons, aircraft, and forces, including commandos, as needed for NATO's new Rapid Reaction Force to help Europe defend against potential Russian aggression from the East and the Islamic State and other violent extremists from the South. Defense Secretary Ash Carter announced the specifics of American contributions to the Rapid Reaction Force a year after President Barack Obama made a commitment to such assistance at the NATO summit last year in Wales. Carter said the United States will provide intelligence and surveillance capabilities, special operations forces, logistics, transport aircraft, and a range of weapons support that could include bombers, fighters, and ship-based missiles. It would not provide a large ground force. Carter announced the new details in Munster, Germany. After meeting with defense ministers from Germany, Norway, and the Netherlands, those countries had agreed to provide the initial troops for the Rapid Reaction Force. The United States has pledged to support the task force, but NATO has been waiting to hear specifically what America was willing to provide. I suppose they're waiting for us to provide more bodies, huh? That seems to be the way the entire world feels about the United States. Let them fight their battles. Let the United States do it. Let the United States military be the ones to shed blood. Boy, that just irks me. That doesn't sound like I'm a little ticked off about it. Then you're not hearing my voice right. How about this? Europe cautiously optimistic of the Greek debt deal this week. Now, Greece has finally offered economic reforms that creditors consider closer to being acceptable, giving Prime Minister Alexis Tsipras a few days to turn a spirit of goodwill into a deal that might keep the country from a painful exit from the euro currency and royal international markets. Even though a firm deal between Greece and its lenders to get Athens more loans remained elusive at an emergency summit today, leaders from the 19 euro nations and the International Monetary Fund said Tsipras, his new reform plan offered the basis to break a 4-month deadlock in talks. We're advancing toward an agreement, said French President François Hollande, but the gap separating what Greece wants to yield in painful reforms and what creditors are demanding before providing more funds remains very sizable. We are closer than we ever were before, said European Commission President Jean-Claude Juncker. Well, we'll see, right? Who knows? And you know what? Did you know that the United States, or the United Nations, is saying that both Israel and Gaza militants may be guilty of war crimes? A UN investigation today accused both Israel and Hamas militants of committing possible war crimes in the last summer's Gaza war, finding that Israel airstrikes on residential buildings caused many civilian deaths and suggesting Israeli leaders knowingly endangered them. The report, which Israel rejected as biased, further strained its already troubled relations with the world body and could provide new ammunition in a preliminary investigation of Israel at the International Criminal Court in Hague. Hamas condemned for indiscriminately firing thousands of rockets at Israeli cities, and its use of tunnels to infiltrate border towns also rejected the report. We must remember that victims are not just numbers or collateral damage, that unfortunate word, right? They are individual people with human rights. Mary McCowan Davis, the American judge who led the investigation, told journalists in Geneva. Now, do not go away, because when we come back, we're going to talk about my favorite subject, the IRS loses. And the first case up is a failure to pay taxes was not willful. I'll tell you all about it right after these brief messages. Don't go away.
Isn't it time to shine the spotlight on your expertise? The Interview, starring you. Here's your chance to capture 5 minutes of fame with The Interview. This isn't just any interview. This is your opportunity to showcase your expertise and position yourself as a trusted expert in a one-on-one video interview hosted by Robert Cardoza, host of the nationally syndicated show Robert Cardoza Live and powered by AHA Studios. What is it? A professionally recorded video for your use. Robert Cardoza interviews you on the set where he records his show. Professional interview showcases your expertise and value, shot in a state-of-the-art studio. And what's in it for you? Gain credibility as an expert, earn the trust of your target market, educate in a way that intrigues your audience, gain a powerful marketing tool that offers dozens of uses: website, video sharing sites, social media, email, DVDs, direct mail, lobby video, resumes, profile building, all that kind of stuff. Association with the nationally syndicated celebrity. That's right. And let's talk about AHA Studios. AHA is a strategic marketing firm that leverages the powerful in visual persuasion to help your business create powerful messages that connect with your target market. AHA ventures way beyond strategy, delivering the marketing collateral you need to start driving a new business through your doors. AHA has a full-service, in-house, state-of-the-art production studio to bring your messages to life using video. Discover how to make the interview work for you. Call 949-831-2222. That's 949-831-2222. AHA Image Studios, Incorporated. Dr. Stephen Tidwell, Gentle Family Dentistry in a caring, personalized environment. Here at Dr. Tidwell's office, we are dedicated to helping you keep your teeth healthy. We are a state-of-the-art dental practice that still believes in traditional values, such as excellent customer service and individual attention. We have a special welcoming offer for you for just $39, a complete exam, personal consultation, professional cleaning, and all necessary x-rays. That's a $266 value for $39. Dr. Tidwell has 2 convenient locations and experienced staff to provide you with professional care and personal attention that you deserve. Call today. Don't delay. A great smile another day. Call 909-944-7308. That's 909-944-7308 for Rancho Cucamonga or San Bernardino. Joel Saltzman is Dr. Wireless. He has turned his considerable expertise into consumer credit risk and wireless security into a highly specialized independent web-based consulting enterprise targeting consumer credit risk analysis and wireless transactional security and monitoring. He works as a wireless analyst, veteran independent agent, and consumer liaison for most wireless telecom carriers and equipment manufacturers. For more than 20 years, corporate and private clients and media audiences have counted on his unvarnished advice while weighing the technology, performance, and cost differences between Sprint, Nextel, AT&T, Verizon, and T-Mobile. Joel specializes in setting up mobile wireless hotspots to be used for disaster preparedness, business continuity, and mobile wireless merchant processing solutions. Call Dr. Wireless at 310-400-4900 or go to his webpage at drwireless.com. Again, call 310-400-4900 or his webpage at drwireless.com. You'll be glad you did. And now, back to our show.
The story you are about to see is true. The names have been changed to protect the innocent.
Oh, yeah, here we are, my favorite part of the show, the IRS loses. And as I promised you before, we're going to talk about a failure to pay taxes was not willful. Boy, you know what? When I talk about the IRS and I talk about them losing, it just sends chills up and down my spine. It makes me so happy. Let's talk about this first case. You know, a business owner who owed back taxes declared bankruptcy, but the IRS said his non-payment was willful because he had improved his home and bought a luxury car while his tax bill mounted, so it could not be discharged. He went to court for some justice. This is what the judge said. The individual had income of more than $1 million and owed $5 million of stock on margin, or owned $5 million of stock on margin, when the stock market actually crashed. You know what? Right after the 9/11 attacks and recession suddenly wiped out his stocks and cut his business income by 75%. He had committed to the personal expenditures earlier and had mistakenly believed that he could deduct his stock losses to offset his tax bill. There was no evidence of any wrongful attempt to avoid the taxes, so the judge says, yeah, they're dischargeable. IRS, what are you thinking? Nah, they weren't thinking. They call that stinking thinking. How about this case? They must pay for delaying a refund. Here's the case. Dino Crisanti entered an installment agreement with the Internal Revenue Service to pay taxes owed by a business that he had purchased and abided by the agreement. But the IRS seized a $17,000 refund owed to him anyhow. Crisanti went to court to get the refund, and the IRS then paid it. Crisanti then asked to have the IRS pay his legal fees. What did the IRS say? They said the award isn't justified because it had never rejected the refund claim and, in fact, paid it soon after the court filing. Well, he went to court to see what they had to say about it. This is what the judge said. The IRS sat on that refund for 2 years, giving check is in the mail excuses, and it seemed no confidence that or coincidence, I should say, that the refund was granted only after the court filing. So, the legal fees were awarded. You got to appreciate that kind of stuff. I know that I sure do. How about, let me give you one that the IRS conceded. You know, we've talked about this before, and I tell you that the IRS only concedes when they're pretty sure they can't win in court. They don't want to set that precedent. Listen to this. A company owner can make restorative payments to a retirement plan. Let me explain. An individual owned one company with 2 retirement plans in which he was the sole participant, and another company that he had many employees in its retirement plan. Now, here's the snag. The trustee of the latter plan embezzled a large amount from it. Federal regulators said that the owner was a fiduciary of the depleted plan who could face legal action as a result of that. So what's the remedy? To avoid government lawsuits, the owner proposed to transfer the assets of his own 2 retirement plans to the depleted plan as a restorative payment. The IRS's ruling? The payment is permitted and will not be a contribution to the employee's plan, which would affect its status or their taxes. It is a taxable distribution, but he also gets an offsetting business deduction for it. Now, that's exactly what you would expect to have take place. God forbid the IRS would know what it's doing well, never mind. They would never know what they're doing. Oh, yeah, here we are. The IRS loses. You know, I play that Twilight Zone theme because the IRS is sometimes in the twilight. These are things that they don't necessarily publish. They don't want you to know. But you can use these things in your own defense because once the IRS has set the precedents, they're stuck. Let me tell you a little bit about this one. What do you think about going to jail for a tax crime even if you reported all of your income? You ever think about that? Well, when the IRS can't prove that you failed to report all of your income, it may still be able to prove you committed a tax crime. So be careful. Small business owners have a tendency to hire employees off the books to save payroll taxes, avoid union assessments, and attract foreign aliens not permitted to work in this country. If the IRS decides to pursue a criminal case, it'll claim that the small business owner willfully aided and abetted in the filing of the false payroll tax returns. Another crime the IRS will attempt to charge is obstruction of justice. If the person being audited tells his or her friends and business associates what to say or not to say if they're contacted by the IRS investigators, yeah, they're looking at time away from home. You don't want that to happen, I can guarantee you. Now listen, we're going to go away for a couple of commercial messages, and then when we come back, we're going to be with our own Wizard of Words, Mr. John Kirk, talking about the syntax of success. But before we do that, I want to make a special announcement. You know, we're very excited and proud here at Robert Cardoza Live to announce that our show is currently available live 5 days a week, Monday through Friday, on the following radio networks. We're on Spreaker Radio, Blog Talk Radio, MyCast Live Radio, and countless terrestrial stations worldwide. Our show can be heard live on Fridays on Roar, 1776 Radio, and 365 Live Radio networks from 4 p.m. to 6 p.m. Pacific Time. And an archive show is going to be played on Saturday mornings from 4 a.m. to 6 a.m. Pacific Time. If you guys are up at 4 a.m., I've got a doctor that'll give you something for that. You know, you can also catch our show on Friday and Saturday on iHeartRadio. And if you've got a TiVo box, you can catch us on TiVo. All of our shows are broadcast on Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, Google+, and YouTube. And you can also download our shows from the iTunes Store free of charge. We encourage you to follow us on these social sources and tell all your friends to follow us as well. We're currently developing 2 Robert Cardoza Live apps that you'll be able to download free of charge for iPhones and Androids. That app will allow you to listen to any of our shows, either live or recorded, 24/7, worldwide, right from your computer, your phone, or your tablet, or your iPad. We want you to know that right now, you're able to reach us in the United States, Montenegro, the Philippines, Canada, Greece, Germany, the United Kingdom, Australia, Italy, France, Thailand, Brazil, and more to come. But now, having said that, do not go away, because when we come back, we're going to be talking with our own John Kurth, and who I should just describe as the Wizard of Words. We'll be right back. Don't go away.
If you want to increase your client base and sales, then consider this, the Relationship Building Network at RBN. Given the current economic conditions and challenges, we all need to work smarter, make smarter decisions, invest our hard-earned dollars where it'll yield the best return for our investment. Many business professionals claim that the most effective networking group in Orange County is RBN. No other networking group or organization can offer what RBN offers. Make every year your best year. Join RBN and start reaping the benefits today. You know, nearly 3,000 businesses have joined RBN and experienced those benefits. Why join RBN? It's one group. It's one membership. It's no renewals. It's all through Orange County. RBN is a freestyle networking group. No mandatory attendance, no restrictions, no rules, and no penalties. Call them at 949-830-5776 or go to their website at rbninfo.com. That's 949-830-5776. If you've ever dreamed of having your own business to make your life secure, you know Water's Edge Wineries might be just the ticket. In 2004, their founder, Ken Lineberger, created the first winery franchise in California. It was a new concept with all of the functionality of a traditional winery, but without the vineyards. They purchased high-quality grape must from one of the largest winemaking companies in the world. Then they craft each wine carefully and bottle it right at their location. The winery was built to satisfy consumer demand for wine by the bottle and by the glass, but still kept the element of allowing customers to bottle their own custom vintage. Now, they're opening urban wineries across the United States under the brand Water's Edge Wineries. If you've ever dreamed of owning your own winery, it may be in reach right now through Water's Edge Wineries. Just give them a call at 909-468-9463, extension 700. That's Water's Edge Wineries, 909-468-9463. Have you ever found yourself caught between a rock and a hard place? The law offices of Blomberg, Benson, and Garrett might be just the answer for you. The attorneys of Blomberg, Benson, and Garrett have been serving the Inland Empire since 1989. They're dedicated to the aggressive litigation of civil, criminal, and real estate matters. Over the years, they have recovered tens of millions of dollars for their clients. The firm's practice specializes in litigation of personal injury, accident, slip and fall, real estate, and criminal law cases. The firm provides clients with the care, accuracy, and dedication of experienced attorneys. Blomberg, Benson, and Garrett is located at 10300 4th Street, Suite 150 in Rancho Cucamonga, California. They've been providing the Inland Empire residents with outstanding legal services for over 25 years. They look forward to providing you with aggressive legal representation. Call them at 909-945-5000, where you can talk to a person, not a machine. That's 909-945-5000, the law offices of Blomberg, Benson, and Garrett. And now let's get back to our show where we talk about politics, money, and you.
And I am Robert Cardoza. You're listening to Robert Cardoza Live on the street at the intersection of business and politics. And you know what? It's that time. It's time for our Wizard of Words, Mr. John Kurth. Let's get him in here.
And now, it's time for our Wizard of Words, John Kurth, president and founder of Syntactic Sales Scripting. He helps business owners, sales managers, and individual salespeople create winning sales scripts that win more customers. John has more than 12 years of combined international sales experience in Hong Kong, Taiwan, and the United States. Here now is our own John Kurth, the Wizard of Words, helping you obtain scripting success beyond your greatest expectations.
Hey, John, welcome aboard. Good to have you with us today. I've been looking forward to talking to you today to see what you had on your desk.
Well, thanks, Robert. Last week we talked about sales call themes. Today we're going to talk about sales call structure.
Sounds
Just
great.
like a house has a structure, an architect, you got to have a strong structure to have a good house, or a doctor, when they're going to medical school, starts with a skeleton first on the physiology and then learns about what else goes on top of that. It's the same thing with the sales call. So we're going to dig deeper into the sales call structure. And just like building a house, when you have the right structure, everything falls into place. So you may be thinking, why do you need to know the sales call structure? Well, that's good news, because sales have a predictable structure. Once you understand the structure, then you can craft a much better sales presentation. So let's look at the 3 stages of the sales call structure. In chess, if I love to play chess, it's one of the classic strategy games. And in chess, there's what's called the beginning, the opening, the middle game, and the end game. Well, in a sales call structure, there's 3 stages. There's the opening stage, the main stage, and the closing stage. So once you have those 3 stages, then we can focus on what goes into each section. So one of the things we talked about is personal demeanor. That is one of the themes that applies to every sales call. So regarding your personal demeanor in the opening part of the opening stage of a sales call, we're talking about approachability. So it's not over-friendliness, but this is where we're talking about trust and rapport. You have to be approachable. You have to be smiling. You just have to, people want to be able to talk with you. You can't be standoffish. If you had a bad call earlier in the day, well, make sure you get your energy correct. So in the opening stage, your personal demeanor needs to be more regarding approachability. Then, when you're in the main stage, this is confidence. Well, the confidence is about talking about your product and services and answering the questions that clients give to you. Because remember, people buy confidence. So you first go from, at the opening stage, being approachable, then, with trust and rapport, then we get into confidence. Confidence about your company, confidence talking about your product or service, confidence answering their questions. Because I mentioned people buy confidence. So this is your emotional state you want to be in, a more confident state in the main stage. Then at the closing stage is called assertiveness or even dominance. What I mean by that is you're going to be making recommendations here. This is where the close, you're getting people to take action. And so many times I see salespeople in the close, they don't ask for the order. They aren't being assertive or even dominant. Now we're talking about assertiveness and dominance is, in this case, asking for the order, asking for them to take action. So at the personal demeanor level, the opening stage is approachability, main stage is confidence, and then the closing stage is dominance. Now let's look at your communication style within the opening, main, and closing stages. So the opening stage, your communication style is being cordial. What I mean by that, cordial, is courteous and genuine. Now, this does not mean being meek. This does not mean being a pushover. This does not mean being too almost fawning or too polite. But you need to be courteous and genuine because you belong there. You're the sales professional, and they're there to listen to what you have to say. So be courteous and genuine. Stand your ground. Take the moral high ground here. Sometimes when you speak to a potential customer, they may be a little standoffish because maybe they don't like to talk to salespeople. They had a bad experience. So you have to be courteous and genuine. Take the high road. Then in the main stage of the your communication style. The main stage of the sales call structure is you're discovering, and so you're discovering what their needs are. So when you're asking those needs-based questions, you're discovering a need, and you're linking it to their need. You want to be curious. People are very, very curious. So lean forward if you're talking to somebody on the other side of the desk. Lean forward on the telephone. Open your eyes a little bit wider. That's physiologically how you demonstrate curiosity. Listen, take notes, clarify things to make sure you've understood what they have just shared with you. That's how you do the curiosity in the main stage or communication style. You do it physiologically, you do it with your questions, and you do it with your listening. Then we go into the communication, the mutual agreement. This is the closing stage. So mutual agreement, looking to get mutual agreement, win-win-win. Win for them, win for you, win for the environment. So that's the process of going through the communication style. And then we're going to talk a little bit later about the other stages. So if you want to learn how to make your sales call structures even more powerful, more persuasive, give me a call here at 949-391-3876. That's 949-391-3876, or go to my website, syntaxofsuccess.com. That's SYNTAXOF, success.com. Robert?
And we're talking to our own Wizard of Words, Mr. John Kurth. Don't go away. We'll be right back with more wisdom from John right after these brief messages.
Isn't it time to shine the spotlight on your expertise? The Interview, starring you. Here's your chance to capture 5 minutes of fame with The Interview. This isn't just any interview. This is your opportunity to showcase your expertise and position yourself as a trusted expert in a one-on-one video interview hosted by Robert Cardoza, host of the nationally syndicated show Robert Cardoza Live, and powered by AHA Studios. What is it? A professionally recorded video for your use. Robert Cardoza interviews you on the set where he records his show. Professional interview showcases your expertise and value, shot in a state-of-the-art studio. And what's in it for you? Gain credibility as an expert, earn the trust of your target market, educate in a way that intrigues your audience, gain a powerful marketing tool that offers dozens of uses, website, video sharing sites, social media, email, DVDs, direct mail, lobby video, resumes, profile building, all that kind of stuff. Association with the nationally syndicated celebrity. That's right. And let's talk about AHA Studios. AHA is a strategic marketing firm that leverages the powerful and visual persuasion to help your business create powerful messages that connect with your target market. AHA ventures way beyond strategy, delivering the marketing collateral you need to start driving a new business through your doors. AHA has a full-service, in-house, state-of-the-art production studio to bring your messages to life using video. Discover how to make The Interview work for you. Call 949-831-2222. That's 949-831-2222. AHA Image Studios, Incorporated. Dr. Stephen Tidwell, Gentle Family Dentistry in a caring, personalized environment. Here at Dr. Tidwell's office, we are dedicated to helping you keep your teeth healthy. We are a state-of-the-art dental practice that still believes in traditional values, such as excellent customer service and individual attention. We have a special welcoming offer for you for just $39, a complete exam, personal consultation, professional cleaning, and all necessary x-rays. That's a $266 value for $39. Dr. Tidwell has 2 convenient locations and experienced staff to provide you with professional care and personal attention that you deserve. Call today. Don't delay. A great smile another day. Call 909-944-7308. That's 909-944-7308 for Rancho Cucamonga or San Bernardino. Joel Saltzman is Dr. Wireless. He has turned his considerable expertise into consumer credit risk and wireless security into a highly specialized independent web-based consulting enterprise targeting consumer credit risk analysis and wireless transactional security and monitoring. He works as a wireless analyst, veteran independent agent, and consumer liaison for most wireless telecom carriers and equipment manufacturers. For more than 20 years, corporate and private clients and media audiences have counted on his unvarnished advice while weighing the technology, performance, and cost differences between Sprint, Nextel, AT&T, Verizon, and T-Mobile. Joel specializes in setting up mobile wireless hotspots to be used for disaster preparedness, business continuity, and mobile wireless merchant processing solutions. Call Dr. Wireless at 310-400-4900 or go to his webpage at drwireless.com. Again, call 310-400-4900 or his webpage at drwireless.com. You'll be glad you did. And now, back to our show.
And I am Robert Cardoza. You're listening to Robert Cardoza live on the street at the intersection of business and politics. We're talking to our own wizard of words, Mr. John Kurth. And John, you've got the microphone.
Thanks, Robert. So we last talked about in the sales call structure, the opening stage, main stage, and closing. We focused on your personal demeanor and your communication style. Now we're going to focus on your message. That belongs in both the opening, the main stage, and the closing. So for the opening stage of your sales call, one of the most powerful tools you can use is what's called a pattern interrupt. A pattern interrupt, what does that do? It breaks the person's typical train of thought, the patterns that they're running. And when you interrupt their pattern, they are now going to be more open-minded. It will help you stand out from the crowd if you're dealing with multiple competitors. It's going to get their curiosity and open-mindedness, and you're setting the stage for the subsequent sales call. So let's talk about pattern interrupts. What are they? They can be linguistic or otherwise. Have you ever been to a retail store or the shopping mall where you're looking at the clothes and there's the mannequins in the display case? Well, that's designed to stop, hold, close. Stop, get you to stop what you're doing. You're walking, you're doing your pattern, you're going through the shopping mall. But this particular, if you're shopping of a woman, maybe it's a particular dress or something for a man. It gets your attention, it stops you. That's the pattern interrupt. It stops you, and then the goal is to hold your attention. Wow, that's a beautiful dress. Wow, that's a beautiful suit. And then it's to hold, after holding your attention, then the goal is ultimately to close you as far as going into the store and buying the item and other items. So pattern interruption is a very, very powerful tool. So if it's a traditional sales call, it could be with a particular statement, something that's still professional, but it's going to break their current pattern, their train of thought. Because if you don't break them out of that train of thought, they're not going to be as attentive. They're going to be focusing on business as usual. And if they're making decisions on automatic, it means they really aren't listening at all. So your opening stage is perfect for a pattern interrupt. Again, it needs to be done professionally. However, especially if you're in a multiple bidding situation, they may think, well, I've listened to 3 other sales presentations today. Now I'm going to hear yours. All the more reason to drop in the pattern interrupt to get their attention, stand out from the competition. It starts building up the trust and rapport, engages their customer in interest, and gets them to be more open-minded. So that's the opening stage for your message, is a pattern interrupt. Now let's talk about the main stage. The main stage breaks into 2 sections. We're talking about ways to identify your position with the particular buyer, and then customer examples and question handling. So here's what I mean by finding your position. There's really 4 steps, because when you're in a sales call, you're not going to know that very rarely will a client tell you exactly where you stand. If you ask it directly, they're going to deny it, or they're going to tell you what they think they want you to hear. Now, what you have to do is to get different data points here to help find out what that is. Where do you stand? What's your position? So this comes into step number 1 is what. Step number 2 is how. Step number 3 is why. And step number 4 is when. But we have to be specific with this. Specifically what, specifically how, specifically why, and specifically when. So let me go into a little more detail on that. So step number 1 is what, specifically what. You need to know what you are trying to accomplish, and they need to know what you're trying to accomplish. You need to know what specific business problem they're trying to solve, or if you're dealing with business to consumer, what personal issue or personal problem or problems are they trying to solve? And if it's more of a technical sale, what technical problems are there? Because the only way you can link the benefits of your product or service is to specifics with them. There's time and place for generalities, but your role as the sales professional is find out specifically what. What are those key details? Because once you know that, then you're in a position to link your product or service to their need, which shares the value, and they're more likely to buy. So step number 1, you got to get detailed about the what. Next step is how. See, the how, we have to understand how the customer is going to make a decision. How are they going to take action? So how are they going to make that decision? Are they going to make it by themselves, or then talk it over with a spouse or a business partner? Or if you're selling business to business, it's going to be made by a decision committee. Also, you need to find out how they are going to implement the solution. If their description is rather fuzzy or rather vague, your responsibility as a sales professional is get them specific to see how specifically they can use your product or service to solve that problem. Otherwise, there's not going to be a strong fit. And if they do purchase your product or service, they aren't going to be happy with it because they haven't applied it in a more targeted way to solving their problem. Oftentimes, customers don't know specifically in that level of detail what their problem is. Your job is to discover that and then demonstrate and show them how your product or service will help them implement it. And you also need to know what we call the success criteria. How will they know if the program has been successful? How will they know if you have helped solve or improve their particular situation? So, for example, if you were selling weight loss, maybe dieting foods or dieting supplements, how will you know they got success? Well, they lost 10 to 20 pounds. If they haven't, well, then they haven't. But you need to know what's called the evidence criteria. How will they determine if it's successful? Because when you help them articulate what that evidence criteria is of success, and then you link your product or service helping to solve that, when they buy your product or service and are so happy, they will know the evidence criteria, how you've helped them, and that's perfect for you to get powerful referrals from that. So you want to be specific on that, on how are they going to implement the solution and what's the evidence criteria for it. So if you want to learn more about how you can be more effective with your selling, give me a call here for a complimentary consultation, 949-391-3876. That's 949-391-3876. Or you can reach me on my website, www.syntaxofsuccess.com. Syntaxofsuccess.com. Robert?
And we're talking to our own John Kurth, the Wizard of Words. He's going to be right back after these commercial messages, and he's going to talk to you worldwide about winning business strategies. Don't go away. We'll be right back.
If you want to increase your client base and sales, then consider this, the Relationship Building Network at RBN. Given the current economic conditions and challenges, we all need to work smarter, make smarter decisions, invest our hard-earned dollars where it'll yield the best return for our investment. Many business professionals claim that the most effective networking group in Orange County is RBN. No other networking group or organization can offer what RBN offers. Make every year your best year. Join RBN and start reaping the benefits today. You know, nearly 3,000 businesses have joined RBN and experienced those benefits. Why join RBN? It's one group. It's one membership. It's no renewals. It's all through Orange County. RBN is a freestyle networking group. No mandatory attendance, no restrictions, no rules, and no penalties. Call them at 949-830-5776 or go to their website at rbninfo.com. That's 949-830-5776. If you've ever dreamed of having your own business to make your life secure, you know Water's Edge Wineries might be just the ticket. In 2004, their founder, Ken Leinberger, created the first winery franchise in California. It was a new concept with all of the functionality of a traditional winery, but without the vineyards. They purchased high-quality grape must from one of the largest winemaking companies in the world. Then they craft each wine carefully and bottle it right at their location. The winery was built to satisfy consumer demand for wine by the bottle and by the glass, but still kept the element of allowing customers to bottle their own custom vintage. Now, they're opening urban wineries across the United States under the brand Water's Edge Wineries. If you've ever dreamed of owning your own winery, it may be in reach right now through Water's Edge Wineries. Just give them a call at 909-468-9463, extension 700. That's Water's Edge Wineries, 909-468-9463. Have you ever found yourself caught between a rock and a hard place? The law offices of Blomberg, Benson, and Garrett might be just the answer for you. The attorneys of Blomberg, Benson, and Garrett have been serving the Inland Empire since 1989. They're dedicated to the aggressive litigation of civil, criminal, and real estate matters. Over the years, they have recovered tens of millions of dollars for their clients. The firm's practice specializes in litigation of personal injury, accident, slip and fall, real estate, and criminal law cases. The firm provides clients with the care, accuracy, and dedication of experienced attorneys. Blomberg, Benson, and Garrett is located at 10300 4th Street, Suite 150 in Rancho Cucamonga, California. They've been providing the Inland Empire residents with outstanding legal services for over 25 years. They look forward to providing you with aggressive legal representation. Call them at 909-945-5000, where you can talk to a person, not a machine. That's 909-945-5000, the law offices of Blomberg, Benson, and Garrett. And now let's get back to our show where we talk about politics, money, and you.
And I am Robert Cardoza. You're listening to Robert Cardoza live on the street at the intersection of business and politics. We're talking to our own Mr. John Kurth and his, I call him the Wizard of Words. He's talking to you about the syntax of success. John, you've got the microphone.
Thanks, Robert. So we talked about in a sales call at the message, at the main stage, you need to know specifically what, how, why, and when. So we've covered what and how. Now let's focus on the detailed why. So by this point, you have a good idea of what the customers are planning and how they intend to accomplish their goals. But now we need to understand the why. Why are they doing it? First, from a company perspective. Why is the company doing this? Are they having trouble in the industry? Do they want to improve productivity? Do they want to gain market share? Why are they doing that? You can get an inclination or get some ideas about this doing your research ahead of time prior to your sales call. And you must validate this by asking the questions and validate those assumptions. Test them. So why are they looking to do this? From a company perspective, why are they going to do it? So do your research ahead of time, which you need to do as a sales professional. And then test those hypotheses. Test, why do they want to do it? You may think you know why, but you must validate that in the conversation with the sales professional and with the person you're speaking with, because sometimes you may not even realize you'll assume everything from what you got and your preliminary work is true. It may or may not be the case. There may be some other reason that internal that you're not aware of that you can't glean from doing your research on the outside before going in to see the potential customer. The second why is personal agendas. Here's what I mean by that. See, if you're dealing one-on-one with a potential customer, they have the why are the big reasons, and the why are those deeper reasons. Those big reasons are the benefit of the benefit, the real reason why they want to do that. Sometimes you see on weight loss ads, the person shows how they lost 20 pounds or 50 pounds. They have more energy. All that's great, but at the end of the commercial, they say, after I lost all this weight, I was able to meet the person of my dreams. That is the biggest why. That's the personal agenda for that one particular person. But if you're in a corporate setting, doesn't matter how big it is, even a small company, you have the company reasons why they're considering your product or service, but then there's the personal agendas of that particular person within the organization. So why is that person in the room on the committee to helping to make a decision? Why would that person become your advocate in the decision-making process? How is it going to help them in their department do better? And why potentially would that person oppose the implementation of your product? Many people in the technological tech services basis would think initially the internal tech manager, IT person, would be supportive. Oftentimes they can be the biggest obstacle. So you need to know that going in. And then, now you're not going to ask the person directly on that, those direct questions, but you need to get a sense about what their personal agendas are in addition to the company agendas. And then we have to get to the final step is when. When are they going to evaluate the product if it's a decision-making process? When are they going to be able to make that decision? You got to find that out. So be specifically, when is going to the evaluation process happen? When will a decision be made? And when will the customer buy? What you're facing here is sometimes called LODI, the law of diminishing intent. If it's one-on-one selling, the person says, well, I need to think about it. I need to talk to you about that tomorrow or next week. That's the law of diminishing intent. And if they're vague on that, that's not a good sign. So when specifically can they make a decision? It's okay for you to ask them to make a decision and be more assertive with that because it has to be there. You need to get all four of those. You have the what, the how, and the why. If you don't have the when, you're out of luck. So remember, you need to have all four steps of that during the main stage to help identify where you stand with that particular customer about them becoming a buyer and making a sale. Now, the closing stage, your message needs to come across on both suggestions, recommendations, prescribing, and also a fallback position if necessary. Let me explain. You want to make suggestions. It's even better at the closing stage to make recommendations. Here's what I recommend. You're coming from a more confident place. You're coming from a more powerful place. Ultimately, you want to get to the position with the client, if you can, of prescribing. Look, when you go to the doctor says, hey, take 2 of these and call me in the morning. He's writing out a prescription for you. And oftentimes you say, okay, doctor, I'll take those. It's met with little or no resistance. Ideally, that's where you want to get at the closing stage. You've crafted all your steps. Each stage is built on the next. And also you've built on your personal demeanor and your communication style and with the message. It's all built throughout that. And now at the closing stage, you're prescribing. Here's what here's what you need to do. That's prescribing. Here's your 2 options, or rather, here's the option. Here's what you need to do. If you want to get the success, here's what you need to do. So don't be afraid to be more assertive. You're at the closing stage. You have to make suggestions. Recommendations are better than suggestions. Prescribing is the best way to position your product or service. Here's what I recommend. Here's what you need to do. Oftentimes, so those are some things you want to look at. So with the sales call structure, you have an opening, main, and closing stage. And all the scripting techniques you've been learning can apply to make each one of those stages stronger. So if you like a complimentary consultation how to make your sales presentation more effective, call me for that consultation at 949-391-3876, 949-391-3876, or go to my website, www.syntaxofsuccess.com. Robert?
Hey, fantastic show, John. It was absolutely fabulous, and this new format is reaching a lot more people, but I really missed the opportunity to talk to you during the commercial breaks.
Well, I do too, but I'm glad you're now global. That's great.
Yeah, that's fantastic. So listen, I look forward to talking to you next week, John. Great show. Thank you, my friend.
All right, bye-bye.
Okay, now don't go away. We'll be right back with our own little wine drinker, the little old wine drinker, John Hanson, after these brief messages. Don't go away.
Isn't it time to shine the spotlight on your expertise? The Interview, starring you. Here's your chance to capture 5 minutes of fame with The Interview. This isn't just any interview. This is your opportunity to showcase your expertise and position yourself as a trusted expert in a one-on-one video interview hosted by Robert Cardoza, host of the nationally syndicated show Robert Cardoza Live and powered by AHA Studios. What is it? A professionally recorded video for your use. Robert Cardoza interviews you on the set where he records his show. Professional interview showcases your expertise and value, shot in a state-of-the-art studio. And what's in it for you? Gain credibility as an expert, earn the trust of your target market, educate in a way that intrigues your audience, gain a powerful marketing tool that offers dozens of uses, website, video sharing sites, social media, email, DVDs, direct mail, lobby video, resumes, profile building, all that kind of stuff. Association with the nationally syndicated celebrity. That's right. And let's talk about AHA Studios. AHA is a strategic marketing firm that leverages the powerful and visual persuasion to help your business create powerful messages that connect with your target market. AHA ventures way beyond strategy, delivering the marketing collateral you need to start driving a new business through your doors. AHA has a full-service, in-house, state-of-the-art production studio to bring your messages to life using video. Discover how to make The Interview work for you. Call 949-831-2222. That's 949-831-2222. AHA Image Studios Incorporated. Dr. Stephen Tidwell, Gentle Family Dentistry in a caring, personalized environment. Here at Dr. Tidwell's office, we are dedicated to helping you keep your teeth healthy. We are a state-of-the-art dental practice that still believes in traditional values, such as excellent customer service and individual attention. We have a special welcoming offer for you for just $39, a complete exam, personal consultation, professional cleaning, and all necessary x-rays. That's a $266 value for $39. Dr. Tidwell has 2 convenient locations and experienced staff to provide you with professional care and personal attention that you deserve. Call today. Don't delay. A great smile another day. Call 909-944-7308. That's 909-944-7308 for Rancho Cucamonga or San Bernardino. Joel Saltzman is Dr. Wireless. He has turned his considerable expertise into consumer credit risk and wireless security into a highly specialized independent web-based consulting enterprise targeting consumer credit risk analysis and wireless transactional security and monitoring. He works as a wireless analyst, veteran independent agent, and consumer liaison for most wireless telecom carriers and equipment manufacturers. For more than 20 years, corporate and private clients and media audiences have counted on his unvarnished advice while weighing the technology, performance, and cost differences between Sprint, Nextel, AT&T, Verizon, and T-Mobile. Joel specializes in setting up mobile wireless hotspots to be used for disaster preparedness, business continuity, and mobile wireless merchant processing solutions. Call Dr. Wireless at 310-400-4900 or go to his webpage at drwireless.com. Again, call 310-400-4900 or his webpage at drwireless.com. You'll be glad you did. And now, back to our show.
And I am Robert Cardoza. You're listening to Robert Cardoza Live on the street at the intersection of business and politics. We're at 5:08 p.m. Pacific time. It's currently 93 degrees here in the heart of the Inland Empire in sunny Southern California. That's down from 100 degrees, and it's on its way to 63. I hope the heck it gets there soon. Now, I want to give you one special announcement before we bring our little old wine drinker in. You know, we're excited and we're proud here at Robert Cardoza Live to announce that our show is currently available live 5 days a week. That's Monday through Friday on the following following radio networks: Spreaker Radio, Blog Talk Radio, MyCast Live Radio, and countless terrestrial stations worldwide. Our show can be heard live on Fridays on Roar, 1776, and 365 Live radio networks from 4 p.m. to 6 p.m. Pacific Time. And an archive show can be heard on Saturday mornings from 4 a.m. to 6 a.m. Pacific Time. God, if you're up at that amount of time, I'm not going to be here, so don't call me. You can also catch our show on Friday and Saturdays on iHeartRadio, and if you've got a TiVo box, you can get us on TiVo. All of our shows are broadcast on Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, Google+, and YouTube, and you can also download our shows right from iTunes, the iTunes Store, free of charge. We encourage you to follow us on all of these social sources. We're currently developing 2 Robert Cardoza Live apps that you'll be able to use free of charge. You can download it for both iPhones and Android. This app will allow you to listen to our shows either live or recorded 24/7 worldwide right from your computer, phone, tablet, or iPad. And right now, you can hear us in all over the United States. You can hear us in Montenegro, Philippines, Canada, Greece, Germany, the United Kingdom, Australia, Italy, France, Thailand, and Brazil, and many, many more that will be joining us very, very soon. The easiest way to listen to our shows right now is to go to our website at robertcardozalive.com. Well, enough of that stuff. Let's get my little old wine drinker in here.
Yes, who's a fool in the corner crying? I say, a little old wine drinker me.
And now, from the middle of a vineyard somewhere, a man who's never met a grape he couldn't cuddle up to, our resident advanced sommelier, John Hansen.
Hey, John, welcome aboard. You actually came on early today. Usually you give me a heart attack. Today you just had to sit there and listen to the show for a few minutes.
I know. I mean, because what's going on with your show is just expanding. So I definitely didn't want to be late today.
Well, it's
a little early.
It's really exciting. So far, it's going off without a hitch. I got my fingers crossed because now that I've said that, sure as heck something's going to happen, right?
You just jinxed it, yes. But my friend, my gosh, what a weekend you had! And of course, I want to talk about a little bit about wine, but. If we get to it, because when you and I start talking, we just go on and on and on. But happy 50th again. Is that a record in California? I mean, usually 3 years is quite an accomplishment in California, but 50, my gosh, my friend, that is amazing.
Well, somebody asked me, John, what the secret of that long marriage was, and I used to tell people, I used to work for the Revlon Corporation, and I was traveling really extensively, and I used to tell people, what, when I got home, the last thing I wanted to do was a fight with my wife. Now I just tell them, we were actually raised in an era when, when things got broken, you fixed them, you didn't throw them away. So that's kind of how we handled our marriage, and it works out good. And I was telling people that the other night, we'll be talking about it, that my only real regret is that I'm pretty sure I don't have another 50 years in me. So I regret not getting to spend more time with my wife. I told her that I wish I'd have found her earlier so I could have spent more time with her. And she says, "My God, I was 15 when you did find me."
Yeah, Bob. I mean, you definitely robbed the cradle there.
I taught her to drive, John.
I know. But I wanted to talk about your weekend. I mean, my gosh, I've seen you. It's probably the most I've seen you in one weekend than I've ever had. We get like maybe something and then a lunch on Monday, but we kind of surprised you on Saturday. But Friday we entertained you with an incredible dinner.
Oh.
I mean,
unbelievable.
Maybe you would talk about it a little more than me just jabbering. But,
well, you know what? It was just what a weekend full of memories that Marlene and I are never ever going to forget, John. And you're right. We started off at your restaurant, the Napa Rose, there at Disney's Grand California Hotel, and God, how magnificent it was. We got there a little bit early, and when we checked in. The nice lady at the desk says, "Oh, well, we have your table ready for you, Mr. Cardoza, and happy anniversary." Thank you. Got over to the table, and there was my good buddy John, and on the table, one of my very favorite wines, a Terra Roja, and it was an exclusive bottle that was there, and a gift from you, and boy, how wonderful that was, and how much I enjoyed it. We sat there, and Philippe, the general manager, came by so it was just an exciting evening. And as usual, John, They put menus down, and I just handed them back and said, John, you have always ordered for me. I want you to order for me again today. And you did the same thing with Marlene. And so we didn't have to worry about anything. Even the wines were automatic. You were bringing wine all night long, and Philippe brought some port at the end of the night. We had a magnificent evening. Neither one of us really knew what was going to be coming, and that was part of the really nice part about it. Why don't you describe the food that we ate, John?
Well, Bob, when you sat down, I wanted to bring something very special since it was your 50th, and the 2010. Now, Linda only made 50 cases of the 2010. And unfortunately, you couldn't have gone to the release party. It was up in Napa Valley, and you had previous engagements. And as I said, only 50 cases, and she sold everything that night. And I, of course, I bought as much as what was left. And honestly, about that could have been my last bottle. I maybe have one more bottle of the 2010, but it was spectacular. It was a strange year because very low yields. I mean, it was kind of a disaster. But what people just hung on and just stayed with the vintage. It was an amazing vintage, and I tell you right now, the 2010s are actually showing beautiful. So I know you haven't had the 2010.
No.
And it could have been my last bottle, or maybe I have one more. But I wanted to share that with you, and so I had to bring that bottle there. But I tell you, we started off when you sat down. Of course, Philippe probably talked to you around for about 20 minutes. But we started you off with Marlene. I know she loved the scallops.
Yeah.
And that's one of the items that's been on our menu since day one. Orange Coast Magazine nominated the scallops seafood appetizer of the year. That's the one item that really Chef Sutton can't touch. He's tried to take it off the menu. He has actually, but he had to bring it back on because he says the product wasn't good. It has to be these special scallops, and times weather and stuff hinders the scallops. So it was off the menu maybe for like 3 weeks, and then it came back on. So it's really the only item that the chef really can't, and it is the trademark appetizer. I know Marlene loves the scallops. But for you, we did the pheasant risotto. And it's actually, without the pheasant, it's a vegetarian item. We use actually mushroom stock instead of like a rabbit or chicken or veal stock with the risotto. So we can actually make it vegetarian if we take the pheasant out. But we left the pheasant in. I mean, you have English peas, mushrooms, a little grated Reggiano Parmesan on top there as well. And we took a little break. Of course, Sleep came over and talked to you again. But we poured you a very special wine for the second course. And, of course, I knew Marlene loved Chardonnay. So our good friend Christian up there at Baliana in the Valley, I know she loves that Chardonnay, too. So we poured her the Chardonnay. And you were enjoying the Chardonnay as well.
Yeah.
But the second course, Bob, we went to this harvest salad. And it's really a celebration of spring. I mean, very light, crisp. You have strawberries, orange. You have a little goat cheese in there as well with combination of lettuce. Very refreshing, but unbelievable salad. We poured a very special wine, Bob. I know we got to take a break, so I'm just going to cap on this wine very quickly.
Okay.
Kenzo, which is Japanese owned, but the winemaker, they have two incredible winemakers up there. Heidi Barrett, of course. Heidi Barrett is known for Screaming Eagle. Her own winery, which is La Serena. Also, David Abu. Now, David Abu is he's more of a legend up there, more on the vintage management side, but an incredible winemaker as well. And both of them together up there. Now, Heidi actually made that Riesling, rosé. Which actually, believe it or not, usually you see a rosé with Pinot or Grenache or something. This was Cabernet Franc, and a little Merlot in there.
Well, John, I've got to tell you that Marlene is not a big fan of rosés, and neither am I, and both of us absolutely loved that wine.
Oh, I'm a big fan of rosé, but more from like Provence or Cassis or something around there.
Hey, John, we're running really over. Let's take a quick break and then come back to the rest of this dinner. We're talking to our own little old wine drinker, John Hansen, and the magnificent evening that I had at the Grand California Hotel at the Napa Rose. And wait till you hear the finish of this story. We'll be right back. Don't go away.
If you want to increase your client base and sales, then consider this. The Relationship Building Network at RBN. Given the current economic conditions and challenges, we all need to work smarter, make smarter decisions, invest our hard-earned dollars where it'll yield the best return for our investment. Many business professionals claim that the most effective networking group in Orange County is RBN. No other networking group or organization can offer what RBN offers. Make every year your best year. Join RBN and start reaping the benefits today. Nearly 3,000 businesses have joined RBN and experienced those benefits. Why join RBN? It's one group. It's one membership. It's no renewals. It's all through Orange County. RBN is a freestyle networking group. No mandatory attendance, no restrictions, no rules, and no penalties. Call them at 949-830-5776 or go to their website at rbninfo.com. That's 949-830-5776. If you've ever dreamed of having your own business to make your life secure, Water's Edge Wineries might be just the ticket. In 2004, their founder, Ken Lineberger, created the first winery franchise in California. It was a new concept with all of the functionality of a traditional winery, but without the vineyards. They purchase high-quality grape must from one of the largest winemaking companies in the world. Then they craft each wine carefully and bottle it right at their location. The winery was built to satisfy consumer demand for wine by the bottle and by the glass, but still kept the element of allowing customers to bottle their own custom vintage. Now, they're opening urban wineries across the United States under the brand Water's Edge Wineries. If you've ever dreamed of owning your own winery, it may be in reach right now through Water's Edge Wineries. Just give them a call at 909-468-9463, extension 700. That's Water's Edge Wineries, 909-468-9463. Have you ever found yourself caught between a rock and a hard place? The law offices of Blomberg, Benson, and Garrett might be just the answer for you. The attorneys of Blomberg, Benson, and Garrett have been serving the Inland Empire since 1989. They're dedicated to the aggressive litigation of civil, criminal, and real estate matters. Over the years, they have recovered tens of millions of dollars for their clients. The firm's practice specializes in litigation of personal injury, accident, slip and fall, real estate, and criminal law cases. The firm provides clients with the care, accuracy, and dedication of experienced attorneys. Blomberg, Benson, and Garrett is located at 10300 4th Street, Suite 150 in Rancho Cucamonga, California. They've been providing the Inland Empire residents with outstanding legal services for over 25 years. They look forward to providing you with aggressive legal representation. Call them at 909-945-5000, where you can talk to a person, not a machine. That's 909-945-5000, the law offices of Blomberg, Benson, and Garrett. And now let's get back to our show where we talk about politics, money, and you.
And I am Robert Cardoza. You're listening to Robert Cardoza live on the street at the intersection of business and politics. We're talking to my good friend, that little old winemaker, John Hanson. And before I have him continue on this story, I've got to tell you what this man actually did. Saturday at a restaurant like that has got to be the biggest revenue day for any server or anybody in the position that John's in. And he took the day off to come and celebrate the 50th anniversary of my wonderful lady and myself. And John, I just want to take this opportunity to worldwide thank you from the bottom of my heart. It meant so much to me that you made that sacrifice to come and spend that evening with us.
Well, Bobby, I wouldn't miss that for the world. I would definitely would have been there.
So we were on the on that magnificent the rosé that we were getting,
yeah.
And boy, I want to tell you, it was fantastic, John.
Oh, as I said, it is. I really, especially summertime. We're getting right into the summer. Yesterday was the first day of summer, and I tell you, rosés, sitting at the pool. I love Provence, Cassis. Anywhere by the Midi in France, there's some incredible rosés. Even the Rhone Valley makes some incredible rosés. But I tell you, by far, my favorite rosé out of California was the Kenzo. It's called Yui. That's just Y-U-I. It's a Japanese-owned winery up in Napa Valley, and they have two of the most incredible winemakers that has ever been up there in Napa Valley. And I tell you, usually you won't see a rosé of Cabernet Merlot, Cabernet Franc or so, but this is one of the most incredible bottles of wine I've had, and I'm glad I shared that with you on your 50th as well. Unfortunately, they only make just a little bit of it, and it is very pricey. We actually had it in the Napa Tech, and we were selling it for $40 a glass. So
wow.
it's a pricey rosé because the background behind it, and they only make just a little of it. But oh my gosh, if you ever get a chance to try it, it is just one of the most amazing wines. You get just lovely strawberries, just light red fruit. You also get like a little grapefruit and a little passion fruit in the background, but just refreshing, delightful wine. And with that harvest salad, Bob, that is just refreshing and light and delightful. That should have been just an amazing pair with this.
Oh, it was, John.
So forth, but of course, Marlene, she's definitely a fish girl.
Yeah.
She doesn't like duck and undercooked chicken. We found that out. Almost 30 years I've known you guys, so we had to go fish. And what we did for her, we did our grill fish special, which was a Pacific yellowtail. Now that sat on a nice little combination of Mediterranean octopus. You had black mussel, crab, laughing bird shrimp, and our in-house made shrimp sausage. There's a little baladi or white bean at the base of the plate with a very light Meyer lemon and lobster emulsion. And I tell you, if you enjoy seafood, like I know Marlene loves seafood, that is a seafood lover.
Oh, I tasted it, John, and it was just magnificent.
Oh, now for you, I know you're the beef guy.
Yep.
And I was at a quandary there. I didn't know.
I never met a side of beef I couldn't cuddle up to.
I know. But I was debating because I was thinking about doing it because that rack of lamb we have is just amazing. We get from Pikes Peak, Colorado. I think the best lamb in the world comes from Pikes Peak. It's just amazing lamb. And that ribeye. And the chef, he has actually two different preparations going on with the ribeye. He actually takes the top cap, was the top little part of the ribeye, and he braises that, and then he just cooks the eye to whatever temperature you like. But it gets a nice little contrast to the dish. But I went with the filet anyway because I love the combination with the Kobe beef cheeks. He has the Kobe beef cheeks, which he braises. That adds nice little substance to the dish. You have a little fennel puree. You have the mushroom combination with nice little, it's kind of like a little Cabernet reduction, a little shallots, garlic, and so forth. But with that Terra Roja, that should have been just a beautiful pair.
Oh, yeah.
I hope you enjoyed it. I know the staff did what was left. I poured a little glass for myself, of course, and I had the staff try it, and they loved it. And I thought it was just showing very nice. A little big. I think maybe in a couple more years it just mellow out a little bit, so it's not so big, and it'd be even better. But I hope you did enjoy that.
Oh, John, enjoy is probably not the right word to use when we talk about how magnificent that was.
Oh, well, I tell you. I wish I could have sat down and enjoyed it with you, but unfortunately I was running around a little bit.
Oh, yeah, but that would have been perfect. But, that would have been wonderful, except that you did something even better. You showed up at the surprise party that my kids put on for us.
Well, I tell you, we'll finish the dinner and talk about that in the next segment. How's that?
Oh, that sounds good. You know what? We're talking to John Hanson, that little old wine drinker. We've got to go on a short commercial break. We'll be right back. We'll finish our dinner and a little story about that, and then we'll talk to John about the party that he attended as a surprise for me. So don't go away. We're going to be right back after these brief messages with John Hanson, that little old wine drinker.
Isn't it time to shine the spotlight on your expertise? The Interview, starring you. Here's your chance to capture 5 minutes of fame with The Interview. This isn't just any interview. This is your opportunity to showcase your expertise and position yourself as a trusted expert in a one-on-one video interview hosted by Robert Cardoza, host of the nationally syndicated show Robert Cardoza Live and powered by AHA Studios. What is it? A professionally recorded video for your use. Robert Cardoza interviews you on the set where he records his show. Professional interview showcases your expertise and value, shot in a state-of-the-art studio. And what's in it for you? Gain credibility as an expert, earn the trust of your target market, educate in a way that intrigues your audience, gain a powerful marketing tool that offers dozens of uses, website, video sharing sites, social media, email, DVDs, direct mail, lobby video, resumes, profile building, all that kind of stuff. Association with the nationally syndicated celebrity. That's right. And let's talk about AHA Studios. AHA is a strategic marketing firm that leverages the powerful in visual persuasion to help your business create powerful messages that connect with your target market. AHA ventures way beyond strategy, delivering the marketing collateral you need to start driving a new business through your doors. AHA has a full-service, in-house, state-of-the-art production studio to bring your messages to life using video. Discover how to make the interview work for you. Call 949-831-2222. That's 949-831-2222. AHA Image Studios, Incorporated. Dr. Stephen Tidwell, General Family Dentistry in a caring, personalized environment. Here at Dr. Tidwell's office, we are dedicated to helping you keep your teeth healthy. We are a state-of-the-art dental practice that still believes in traditional values, such as excellent customer service and individual attention. We have a special welcoming offer for you for just $39, a complete exam, personal consultation, professional cleaning, and all necessary x-rays. That's a $266 value for $39. Dr. Tidwell has 2 convenient locations and experienced staff to provide you with professional care and personal attention that you deserve. Call today. Don't delay. A great smile another day. Call 909-944-7308. That's 909-944-7308 for Rancho Cucamonga or San Bernardino. Joel Saltzman is Dr. Wireless. He has turned his considerable expertise into consumer credit risk and wireless security into a highly specialized independent web-based consulting enterprise targeting consumer credit risk analysis and wireless transactional security and monitoring. He works as a wireless analyst, veteran independent agent, and consumer liaison for most wireless telecom carriers and equipment manufacturers. For more than 20 years, corporate and private clients and media audiences have counted on his unvarnished advice while weighing the technology, performance, and cost differences between Sprint, Nextel, AT&T, Verizon, and T-Mobile. Joel specializes in setting up mobile wireless hotspots to be used for disaster preparedness, business continuity, and mobile wireless merchant processing solutions. Call Dr. Wireless at 310-400-4900 or go to his webpage at drwireless.com. Again, call 310-400-4900 or his webpage at drwireless.com. You'll be glad you did. And now, back to our show.
And I am Robert Cardoza. You're listening to Robert Cardoza Live on the street at the intersection of business and politics. We're talking to my good friend John Hanson, a little old wine drinker. And we were just getting, I think, to the dessert, weren't we, John?
Yeah, it's your dinner and apéros. Actually, before dessert, we did a little cheese plate.
Oh, yeah.
Which we have, the chef he's like a little cheesemonger, loves AOC cheeses, and our cheese plate is a little special. We have a little chutney. We have actually a little honeycomb in the center, then a little cherry, nuts, and apricot chutney on the plate. You have 8 different little pieces of cheese with a nice little selection of bread as well. And then for dessert, Bob, we let you share that cheese plate. And for dessert, we did, what's actually probably my favorite on the menu?
John, that's got to be the best mouthful of anything I've ever had in my entire life.
You have this crunchy peanut bottom. You have a peanut butter mousse, chocolate top, and then caramelized bananas around that. And what a nice little way to top the evening. And we topped it with a nice 2003 Coburn vintage port. And I hope you enjoy that even because it was fun. But
John, you want to fall off your chair and just be absolutely shocked. I cannot believe I'm going to say what I'm going to say right now. Marlene liked the port.
I know. I was a little shocked too. She's starting to branch off, I think.
Well, you know what?
That
was just one of the most magnificent evenings. We had a perfect table right there by the windows. We could see everything around, and it was just wonderful. And John, I got to talk about this little girl. She just I don't know how old she was, just a little girl. And she kept having to come into the restaurant to go to the little girl's room, but the doors were heavy. She couldn't get the doggone doors open. So I was right there. I'd open the door for her, and then she'd come back. She couldn't get it open again, so I'd open it for her. She did that a couple of times, and we just thought she was just really cute. And she was part of a party. It looked like a bigger party that they were celebrating out on your patio out there. And that was just absolutely fantastic. And then, it was starting to get a little late. We'd been there for, I want to say 2 or 3 hours anyway. And so you walk over to the table to me and say what you said, John.
Yeah, well, Mr. Harmon, he's one of our regulars, and he had a nice little party out in the patio of 12 people. and he noticed that you kept getting up to get the door for his little girl who was 6 years old. And he came to me and said, who's that gentleman? I really want to thank him. And I said, it's a good friend of mine, Mr. and Mrs. Cardoza. They're celebrating their 50th anniversary. And he said, my God, he goes, you know what? I want to buy him dinner. For 50 years, that's incredible. But what he's doing, and I noticed that he's an amazing gentleman, and I would love if I could buy him dinner. And of course, we took care of the wine part of that, which was probably more than a dinner. But
yeah, matter of fact, he made the comment. He's not having $1,000 bottle of wine, is he, John?
Yeah, he did mention that. He goes, I want to buy dinner, but is he having $1,000 bottle of wine? I want to make sure I'm not going to get myself into something I don't want to get into. And I said, no, we're going to take care of the wine, and so it's just him and his wife having dinner. And as I say, what a kind gentleman. He comes in quite often. And when he heard it was your 50th and he saw what you were doing, he went out his way and said, no, I want to make sure I pick up their dinner tab, which he did. And yes, Mr. Armand, thank you so much. I was so grateful.
Absolutely. That was such a nice thing to do. What a gentleman he was. It was just a really nice thing, and totally unexpected, of course. It was just a really wonderful thing to do. So.
Exactly. You know what's funny about it, because we're just going to touch on this briefly, because I do want to do a wine pick of the week, because when we started this show, how many years ago, we wanted to do a wine pick of the week every segment. I think we do about 3 a year. So let's start doing that again. But I tell you, I was so nervous because there was about 3 times I almost blew up for the day, the next day, which at your son's house, we celebrate your 50th anniversary with all your close friends and family. And
Marlene and I didn't know anything about it.
You had no clue, and Tiffany was sweating bullets. She thought I was just going to let the cat out of the bag and say something like, I'll see you tomorrow, or something like that. And I didn't, and I assured her it's all good and well. But we had an incredible party at your son's house as well, catered with all your friends, and your grandson put on an incredible little show for us through the memories. And what a magnificent weekend. I hope my 50th, if I live that long, will be similar to yours, because that was just an amazing weekend. I had an amazing weekend, so I'm sure it was just. I know you got a little emotional there when your grandson.
Oh yeah, he's going to be 12 on the 4th of July, and he put together this collage of pictures with music in the background, and he started it with in our era, the boys and girls had their songs that meant something to them, and Marlene and I had a song that really meant something to us. It was an Elvis Presley song, and it was titled "Fame and Fortune." And so when Joey started this memorial, this thing for us, he started it with that song, and it just really grabbed me. I wasn't prepared for any of this thing. And there was a number of times during the night where I had a tough time keeping my emotions down my throat.
Oh, my God. I was getting emotional just watching it. It was just incredible, I tell you. But I hope you had a great weekend.
Oh, John, I'm an old guy. We didn't get back to our hotel till 1 o'clock in the morning.
Wow. We got back a little late, and there were still, maybe about 4 or 5 couples there or so when we left.
Yeah.
So, of course, your son was there, Tip, your daughter, and the grandkids, but maybe another couple or two as well that was just lingering around before we left. So, it was great because it was a short little drive for us instead of driving out from Rancho Cucamonga. It was just down the street for us. So.
Yeah, well, we were staying at the Embassy Suites right there off of, right there by the, what's the name of that thing? The Brea Mall. So it was really, we're like 5 minutes from there. So it worked out really wonderful. John, I got to tell you, to see you and Raina and all of our other friends, really, really close friends that we hadn't expected to do anything. We thought we were going out for a family dinner with my son and his significant other and my 2 grandchildren from him, and my daughter and son-in-law and my 2 grandchildren from them. There was going to be 6 of us for dinner, and I guess more than that, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10 of us for dinner at a nice restaurant. And it turned out it was the most magnificent evening that I've had in many years. So, and partially have you to thank for that. So, There's a reason that I call you one of my best friends, and that is proof of it.
Well, I'm proud to be one. But Bob, do we have a second just to do a quick little?
Absolutely, do the wine. If you got a pick of the week, do it, buddy.
And I tell you, I was a little skeptical because of the name of the wine. It is called Kung Fu Girl. It's out of Columbia Valley in Washington. and I'm going, why would I even look at this bottle? But I tell you, so many people talked about it because we eat a lot of fish, and Raina loves Riesling. And the Riesling I usually drink is like Crocker Hemmerreich, J.J. Prum or something like that. So, which is very expensive. But this little bottle of wine, I tell you, you can get, depending where you get it, $10 to $12 a bottle. It's from Columbia Valley up in Washington. Bright acid, just a delightful Riesling. And I tell you, I was impressed by it. So it's one of our new little just keep it the house wine where you open up to have dinner with by yourself with just a couple of people coming over.
And what's the name of that wine again, John?
Kung Fu Girl.
Kung Fu Girl. Can you get it? I suppose you can get it at Costco.
No, I haven't seen it at Costco yet. But you get a little wine shop that is around there. They produce a decent amount. They're not a huge producer, but you will see it in little wine shops. And don't be afraid of the name. Try it out.
Okay, I will. Hey, John, thank you so much. Give a hug and a kiss to that lovely wife of yours, and I'll talk to you soon. Maybe you and I can meet this coming Monday.
Sounds great. You do the same to your lovely wife.
All right. Good night, John. And we'll be right back after these brief messages. It's somebody's birthday. I'll tell you all about them as soon as we can return. Don't go away.
If you want to increase your client base and sales, then consider this, the Relationship Building Network at RBN. Given the current economic conditions and challenges, we all need to work smarter, make smarter decisions, invest our hard-earned dollars where it'll yield the best return for our investment. Many business professionals claim that the most effective networking group in Orange County is RBN. No other networking group or organization can offer what RBN offers. Make every year your best year. Join RBN and start reaping the benefits today. Nearly 3,000 businesses have joined RBN and experienced those benefits. Why join RBN? It's one group. It's one membership. It's no renewals. It's all through Orange County. RBN is a freestyle networking group. No mandatory attendance, no restrictions, no rules, and no penalties. Call them at 949-830-5776 or go to their website at rbninfo.com. That's 949-830-5776. If you've ever dreamed of having your own business to make your life secure, Water's Edge Wineries might be just the ticket. In 2004, their founder, Ken Lineberger, created the first winery franchise in California. It was a new concept with all of the functionality of a traditional winery, but without the vineyards. They purchased high-quality grape must from one of the largest winemaking companies in the world. Then they craft each wine carefully and bottle it right at their location. The winery was built to satisfy consumer demand for wine by the bottle and by the glass, but still kept the element of allowing customers to bottle their own custom vintage. Now, they're opening urban wineries across the United States under the brand Water's Edge Wineries. If you've ever dreamed of owning your own winery, it may be in reach right now through Water's Edge Wineries. Just give them a call at 909-468-9463, extension 700. That's Water's Edge Wineries, 909-468-9463. Have you ever found yourself caught between a rock and a hard place? The law offices of Blomberg, Benson, & Garrett might be just the answer for you. The attorneys of Blomberg, Benson, & Garrett have been serving the Inland Empire since 1989. They're dedicated to the aggressive litigation of civil, criminal, and real estate matters. Over the years, they have recovered tens of millions of dollars for their clients. The firm's practice specializes in litigation of personal injury, accident, slip and fall, real estate, and criminal law cases. The firm provides clients with the care, accuracy, and dedication of experienced attorneys. Blomberg, Benson, & Garrett is located at 10300 4th Street, Suite 150 in Rancho Cucamonga, California. They've been providing the Inland Empire residents with outstanding legal services for over 25 years. They look forward to providing you with aggressive legal representation. Call them at 909-945-5000, where you can talk to a person, not a machine. That's 909-945-5000, the law offices of Blomberg, Benson, & Garrett. And now let's get back to our show where we talk about politics, money, and you.
And I am Robert Cardoza. You're listening to Robert Cardoza live on the street at the intersection of business and politics. And you know what today is? Yeah, somebody's birthday. And you know what? A very happy birthday to Bill Blass. He was born in 1922, died in 2002, an American fashion designer known for his tailoring and his innovative combinations of textures and patterns. And here, there's a young lady born in 1949. She's an American actress who has worked in theater, television, and film. She's widely regarded as one of the most talented and respected movie actors of the modern era. Happy birthday to Meryl Streep. Yeah, happy birthday, lady. And today in history, how about in 1898, the Spanish-American War, United States Marines land in Cuba. And in 1918, Hammond Circus train wreck kills 86 and injures 127 near Hammond, Indiana. And on today, in 1922, Heron Massacre. 19 strikebreakers and 2 Union miners are killed in Heron, Illinois. And then finally, in 1984, Virgin Atlantic Airways is launched first flight from London's Heathrow Airport. Well, our quote for today comes from J. Frank Noby, and J. Frank says, "The average PhD thesis is nothing but a transference of bones from one graveyard to another." Makes sense to me, Frank. That's the way she always goes. Well, let's talk about those secret daily teachings for your life. Today we got a short one. Just remember, it's all about a positive mental attitude. And if you have one, you win, because your positive mental attitude is going to control your entire life and make everybody's life around you better for it. Today's secret: when you feel as though you have it now, and the feeling is so real that it's like you have it already, you're believing that you have received it already, and you will receive it. It's all about a positive mental attitude. If you think you got it, you've got it. Now, let's talk about that Harvard business tip of the day. And the management tip today is, make gender balance a smart strategic goal. You know, if you're working or launching or accelerating a push for more gender balance in your company, you need to focus on the opportunity, not the problem, to engage others. Approach the conversation by first laying out a set of future objectives, targets, and milestones. Then, describe how gender balance is a key lever to help you reach those goals. It helps to consider a few questions. First of all, are you using language that accuses or language that invites people to build skills and enhance leadership impact? And 2, are you engaging with managers on things that they understand or are central to both their individual success and the company's goals? Or are your efforts being perceived as politically correct? Tick the box exercises. Remember, the final goal isn't just about balance. It's having more engaged employees and more connected customers. Isn't that what we're doing? Absolutely. All right, let's talk about those interesting but useless facts. Did you know underground is the only word in the English language that begins and ends with the letters U-N-D? There you go. Somebody had to stay up at night to figure that out. You know, when Einstein was inducted as an American, he attached the ceremony, or attended the ceremony, without socks. That's totally a European way to do things. How about this? Did you know that in Washington, anyone under the age of 18 must have parental permission to throw a tear gas canister? Go, give me a break. How about this? In Connorsville, Wisconsin, no man shall shoot off a gun while his female partner is having a sexual orgasm. That's a law, guys. I kid you not. Somebody had to stay up at night to figure these things out. Try this one on. Did you know that there are 10 human body parts that are only 3 letters long? The eye, the hip, the arm, the leg, the ear, the toe, the jaw, the rib, the lip, and the gun. Yep. How about this? Did you know that 64% of the population can roll their tongue? I can do it, but I need some help with it. How about this? Let's see. The banana is the most prolific of all food plants, with as many as 300 bananas growing on the same stalk. Boy, now there's a task for you. And let's leave you with this. Galileo became totally blind shortly before his death. That's kind of interesting if you think about it. Anyway, do not go away. When we come back, we're going to talk about the emails for today. The first one is from Tyler Din. He's asking about a head of household status. And so I'm going to tell you all about that right after these brief messages. So do not go away.
Isn't it time to shine the spotlight on your expertise? The Interview, starring you. Here's your chance to capture 5 minutes of fame with The Interview. This isn't just any interview. This is your opportunity to showcase your expertise and position yourself as a trusted expert in a one-on-one video interview hosted by Robert Cardoza, host of the nationally syndicated show Robert Cardoza Live and powered by AHA Studios. What is it? A professionally recorded video for your use. Robert Cardoza interviews you on the set where he records his show. Professional interview showcases your expertise and value, shot in a state-of-the-art studio. And what's in it for you? Gain credibility as an expert, earn the trust of your target market, educate in a way that intrigues your audience, gain a powerful marketing tool that offers dozens of uses, website, video sharing sites, social media, email, DVDs, direct mail, lobby video, resumes, profile building, all that kind of stuff. Association with the nationally syndicated celebrity. That's right. And let's talk about AHA Studios. AHA is a strategic marketing firm that leverages the powerful and visual persuasion to help your business create powerful messages that connect with your target market. AHA ventures way beyond strategy, delivering the marketing collateral you need to start driving a new business through your doors. AHA has a full-service, in-house, state-of-the-art production studio to bring your messages to life using video. Discover how to make The Interview work for you. Call 949-831-2222. That's 949-831-2222. AHA Image Studios, Incorporated. Dr. Stephen Tidwell, Gentle Family Dentistry in a caring, personalized environment. Here at Dr. Tidwell's office, we are dedicated to helping you keep your teeth healthy. We are a state-of-the-art dental practice that still believes in traditional values, such as excellent customer service and individual attention. We have a special welcoming offer for you for just $39, a complete exam, personal consultation, professional cleaning, and all necessary x-rays. That's a $266 value for $39. Dr. Tidwell has 2 convenient locations and experienced staff to provide you with professional care and personal attention that you deserve. Call today. Don't delay. A great smile another day. Call 909-944-7308. That's 909-944-7308 for Rancho Cucamonga or San Bernardino. Joel Saltzman is Dr. Wireless. He has turned his considerable expertise into consumer credit risk and wireless security into a highly specialized independent web-based consulting enterprise targeting consumer credit risk analysis and wireless transactional security and monitoring. He works as a wireless analyst, veteran independent agent, and consumer liaison for most wireless telecom carriers and equipment manufacturers. For more than 20 years, corporate and private clients and media audiences have counted on his unvarnished advice while weighing the technology, performance, and cost differences between Sprint, Nextel, AT&T, Verizon, and T-Mobile. Joel specializes in setting up mobile wireless hotspots to be used for disaster preparedness, business continuity, and mobile wireless merchant processing solutions. Call Dr. Wireless at 310-400-4900 or go to his webpage at drwireless.com. Again, call 310-400-4900 or his webpage at drwireless.com. You'll be glad you did. And now, back to our show.
And I am Robert Cardoza. You're listening to Robert Cardoza Live on the street at the intersection of business and politics. We're at 5:52 p.m. Pacific time. It is currently 92 degrees here in the heart of the Inland Empire in sunny Southern California. Well, it's going down from 100 degrees on its way to 63 degrees. I can't wait for it to get there. But right now, you know what? It's time for our emails. And I want to remind you that this is an entertainment section of the show. I do my best to answer the emails as accurately as I can. But, you know, sometimes these these mails, the date is a little bit sketchy in there. So we always remind you to always contact a licensed professional in the area of the question. They're going to call you in, they're going to interview you and get all the basic information so they can give you a good, qualified, thorough answer. And the nice part about it is all licensed professionals are required to carry what they call errors and omissions insurance. That's something that lets you sleep at night, because if they make a mistake and somebody comes calling or knocking on your door or send you a registered letter, you just send them right after that professional, because that's what the errors and omissions insurance is for. If he made a mistake, he pays the piper. Now, my first email today is from Tyler Dinn from Hattiesburg, Mississippi, and he's asking about head of household status. It says, my daughter lives with me, and I've been filing as head of household. She's a full-time student, and I pay more than half her expenses, but she turned 24 during the past year, had $16,500 of income, and took an exemption for herself on her tax return. Do I still qualify to file as head of household? Well, Tyler, the answer to your question is a resounding no. Your daughter no longer is a qualifying child because she was not under the age of 24 at the year end, and she's not any other kind of qualified person because her income is over that personal exemption amount for the year. Now, the fact that she claimed an exemption for herself on her own tax return also bars her from being a qualified person. So, if your daughter is the only person for whom you provide a household, you no longer qualify for that head of household status. So I'm sorry about that, Tyler. Next email comes from Daryl Fleming, and Daryl's writing me from Bend, Oregon, asking about no salary for a proprietorship. Writes, if I set up a sideline business as a proprietorship, can I set my salary from it at zero so that profits will build up in the business without my paying tax on them? Well, Daryl, looks like it's that kind of a day. You get a no, too. A proprietorship does not pay salary to its owner. Instead, all of its income is taxed to its owner, subject to both income tax and self-employment tax. However, setting up a qualified retirement plan for it may let you save all or much of its income tax-free. Now, a solo 401k lets you save the first $15,500, $20,500 if you're 50 years old or older, of business income, plus 20% of the net business income. Let me give you an example of that. Let's just say you're 50 and your sideline business makes $25,000. You can save all of its income in a solo 401k. Now, there's an alternative. Setting up your new business as a corporation lets you set a salary for yourself. This entails many complications, so consult an expert before you do that. But it was a great question anyway. Next email comes from Aisha French, and Aisha is writing me from Port Allegheny, Pennsylvania, asking about joint liability, and writes, in past years, my husband hid income from the IRS, so I filed separately to avoid being liable for his taxes. Now, he's reporting all his income and wants to file joint returns with me. Will filing jointly with him now make me liable for his back taxes and penalties for those past years? Well, Aisha, the good news for you is the same answer as the other two, but the answer is no. It's not going to do that. Joint liability for your spouse's taxes applies only in the years for which you file a joint return with your spouse. Now, filing a joint return after a period of filing separate returns does not retroactively create joint liability for the separate return years. However, before filing jointly, be absolutely sure your husband isn't continuing to understate his income. IRS scrutiny of prior years may lead to the current return and ultimately include your items. So any overpayment might then be applied to those back taxes. So, be careful, be comfortable, be sure. My last email comes from James Wilson from Amarillo, Texas, asking about deductible medical expenses, and writes, my mother lives with me and I claim her as a dependent. Can I include her Medicare Part D premiums for her prescription drug benefit in my deductible medical expenses? Well, James, you're the first and last. You're the yes for today. Medicare premiums paid under both Part B, that's the outpatient insurance, and Part D, the prescription drug benefit, qualify as deductible medical expenses. Now, normal rules apply, so you can deduct the medical expenses of dependent, and your deduction is limited to the amount by which your total medical expenses exceed 10%. of your adjusted gross income. So hopefully that's helped you, and it's not going to create any serious problems for you. I certainly want to remind you one more time that to go seek the advice of a licensed professional. They generally will save you more money than they cost you. It's really a good idea for you to do that. Now, I want to thank you for listening to Robert Cardoza Live at the intersection of business and politics. Robert Cardoza Live broadcasts on Spreaker Radio, Blog Talk Radio, MyCast Live Radio, and countless terrestrial stations worldwide, every Monday through Friday from 4 p.m. to 6 p.m. Pacific Time. I also broadcast on Roar 1776 Radio and 365 Live Radio every Friday from 4 p.m. to 6 p.m. Pacific Time. And please follow me on Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, Google+, and YouTube, where you can listen to my shows, all of my shows, 24/7. Go to my website at www.robertcardozalive.com and email me at robertcardozalive@gmail.com. That's where I get all the emails I deal with here on the show. On my next show, my expert contributor is going to be Suzette Mailer with her IFAB Travel Corner. My special guest is Sean Lefebvre with this series, Geared for Wellness. I encourage you to tell all of your friends about my show here on the RLC Broadcasting Network.
That's our show for today. Beginning today, treat everyone you meet as if they were going to be dead by midnight. Extend them all the care, kindness, and understanding that you can muster. Your life will never be the same again. So many of our dreams at first seem impossible, then they seem improbable, and then, when we summon the will, they soon become inevitable. You know, the real secret of happiness is to make others believe that they're the cause of it. Robert Cardoza Live is brought to you by blogtalkradio.com every Monday through Friday from 4 p.m. to 6 p.m. Pacific Time. Now, go out and make it a great day. Your host has been Robert Cardoza, the technical advisor, Matchstick Digital, and your executive producer, also Robert Cardoza.
Okay, everybody, that's a wrap. I hope you enjoyed today's show as much as I enjoyed producing it for you. Don't forget to join me again tomorrow for another installment of Robert Cardoza Live on the street at the intersection of business and politics. In the meantime, stay home, stay happy, and good night, everybody.